Hello, welcome to In My Crumble Opinion. My name is Phoebe Cakes. I am obviously out of drag, but this is a drag-related video tonight. Tonight, we are going to be doing something that I wasn't actually going to plan on doing, but Snacks, the drag queen in the Bay Area, did get on blue sky. And what is the verb for blue skying? I don't want to say tweet.
No, they say
Skeet. Okay. Snacks skeeted that I should do a review of the PrincX Pageant Runways as it relates to the theme of camp. And I have to say, it's like when Snacks says to do something, I'm going to do it because I am a simp for Snacks and I will do whatever she says. But also, I'm also a stickler for prompts, and I have opinions. I have crumble opinions, and I need to get them out. I need a repository for my feelings, and this video is what that is. So we are going to go over the runways, and I'm not going to do like whether they're good or not or rank them in terms of like how successful of a look I think they are. I might insert some of my ideas of what that is, but I'm going to try to do my best to strictly talk about how well a particular contestant hit the prompt of camp. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Firstly, okay, there's more to do, apparently. First, I want to just like briefly go over what camp is, and maybe even just say like, I think some of these contestants really needed to like get on Wikipedia or Google and just like look up camp. Like, the information's out there, and I'm not going to get so technical or so into the weeds of, like, all of the notes that Susan Sontag wrote on camp, of which there are plenty. But I do want to just, like, briefly define it and then go over the criteria or rubric that I'm going to have over how much I think each contestant met camp as the prompt. So, firstly, camp. It is an aesthetic approach, an aesthetic mode. It's not quite an aesthetic genre, okay? So, like, many genres can fall into camp. Comedy, drama, melodrama, horror even, all kind of, like, fall into camp. There's very many different styles that could be campy. Victorian, 70s, New Wave, Art Nouveau even. Like anything can be camp. Camp is more of an approach to doing things. And the touchstones that I'm going to be plucking from or touching, I guess, touchstones, are going to be frivolity and playfulness, okay? So that's going to be like one category, frivolity and playfulness. Another one is going to be like artifice and irony. Okay, artifice and irony is going to be another category. So frivolity, playfulness, artifice, and irony is going to be another one. I'm kind of grouping some of them together because it's all like little Venn diagrams. And maybe the last category that I'm going to grade on is going to be exaggeration and queerness. So camp has a long, harried history, but, you know, it is more or less kind of embedded itself or synonymous with queer subculture. And there's so many things that queerness, you know, lends itself to camp for, you know, so much, and drag particularly as an art form does, as well as like fashion. And a lot of that has to do with like the idea of exaggeration and self-awareness and irony. And drag is so much of like a send-up of like gender norms, either to exaggerate them or to subvert them and whatnot. So it should be theoretically very easy for a drag performer to be campy. And to my disappointment, I think a lot of people did miss the mark. I'm not going to name names or whatever. I'm just going to go stick to my rubric, okay, the 1, 2, 3 rubric. I'm going to give each person a score of 1 to 3 within each category. 1 being 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. Okay, so Angel, I need you to keep track of that. And if you don't know what each one of those things means, then I implore you to go ahead and Google, which some of these contestants did not do. Okay, so to their credit, a lot of people misunderstand what camp is. You know, there's things, you know, ideas of like naive camp versus like not naive camp or high camp and low camp and kitsch, and it's a lot to like keep track of. But a cursory understanding of like what camp is actually pretty easy to grasp because it's pretty easily identifiable. Think of like Carrie or The Evil Dead or I don't know, Mommy Dearest. Like there's just so many good examples of camp. So we're just gonna go through the looks. I'm gonna start with the first contestant. We'll go in order of how they went down the runway. And if you don't know what the High PrincX Pageant is, go ahead and look at our previous videos because we explain it multiple times. But the High PrincX Pageant is a pageant that happens in the Bay Area that's run by the Princess team, the brainchild of Tito Soto, and it happens at SF Oasis, which is a drag cabaret helmed or operated by Darcy Drollinger, who is the current poet laureate, drag laureate of the Bay Area. Anything else I need to say about that? San Francisco. Excuse me, San Francisco. Okay, we're going to get into it. Okay, first look is Delila Be Fierce. Okay. I'm seeing it up close. When I was there live, this is, by the way, not a fresh reaction to their look, but I saw it live. I was kind of far away, and now I'm reviewing videos that somebody took very up close. And that was done by Loma Prieta, Bay Area historian, self-appointed Loma Prieta, who has asked if In My Crumble Opinion is coming back, like particularly the interview portions. And bitch, I don't know. It's a lot to do, but we're gonna try this year. So season 3 might be coming, but thank you so much for the videos. Okay, I'm looking at Delila Be Fierce, and I have to say, immediately, it's not camp. Okay, I think it's very interesting, and I think it's very intricate, and but I just feel like it really misses the mark. And so, first, playfulness and frivolity. I'm gonna give it a 1. I almost said 0, but I just realized that that would be very cunty. But I'm gonna give it a 1. It's not giving me fun. Okay, it's a dark color. I could tell there's some iridescence to it, like it's not just like black or gray, but from afar and even in the video, it's giving black and gray. So it's just like, those aren't fun colors. There's no element of play to it. It is very aesthetic in that it's like symmetrical and intricate and has a lot of interesting texture. But I'm not getting a sense of whimsy. Okay, so I'm gonna like look at it a little more, moving it around. The presentation is also just like giving very like fierce cunty sleigh boots, and that's not playful necessarily. Okay, moving on. The next category, irony and artifice. Okay, in terms of irony and artifice, also want to say 0, but I'm gonna say 1 because I'm not that much of a cunt. Nothing's ironic about it. There's no, I don't see like, I don't see where the wink, nod, kind of like cheekiness might lie in this garment. I do, again, think it's like very fierce, cunty sleigh boots, but I'm not getting that. In terms of like artifice, no, it's a solid 1. And then finally, in terms of exaggeration and queerness, I think it's very beautiful. The silhouette is very exaggerated, and that's where I will give Delila Be Fierce her flowers, is that it's a very interesting silhouette. It's bigger than her body. It's symmetrical. There's these like sharp lines and sharp edges. There's these frills. I think that in itself has a very good impact. And the fact that it's black kind of has a 0 in on it as a silhouette as opposed to, as a color or a feeling. But overall, it is not camp. I didn't do the math, but I think 1, 1, and 1 is 3. And that's the score I'm going to give Delila Be Fierce. Okay, next up is... Oh, my daddy. This is Hota Mercury. Okay, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Okay. Okay, first of all, gorgeous, cunty sleigh boots, beautiful silhouette. I get the references. Big antlers, lovely. Is it camp? So let's talk about it. Okay. I do want to get to the part where there is a part of his presentation where he's ripping off the velvet from his antlers, and it's supposed to be fierce, but it was a little clumsy, and we're gonna assume that actually happened, so I could talk about the ideas and whether they hit camp. So in terms of playfulness and frivolity, I'm gonna give it a solid 2. I feel like it could be a little more playful, especially the silhouette was very sparse, and I think you could be a little more playful, especially when you're wearing big antlers. The presentation was very strong and embodied, but there's lacking a sense of fun and surprise. Well, there's some surprise, but maybe not so successful. But we'll get to that a little later. Okay, so in terms of my second category of irony and artifice. Also a little straightforward, I understand the references, and I understand, the point of view, very indigenous, and very burlesque and very masculine. And I think a little bit more of artifice, a little bit more irony, just like bigger is better, just something a little more to sell kind of like these references. So I'm going to give it a solid 2 because I see the direction, and I just think it could have been a little more. And then, in terms of queerness and exaggeration, if I can nitpick, I would say, I think the antlers just need to be bigger, 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 bigger. Everything needs to be bigger. They almost look like the, true to life size antlers. And if we're talking about exaggeration, if we're talking about kind of like, just blowing things up to its largest, most absurd, iteration, it could have been bigger. Now, the sad part is that the velvet did not come off during the reveal, and I think that really would have upped the playfulness and maybe really the shininess, the sparkle of the antlers themselves, because they were fully stoned underneath the velvet. Would have been really cool to experience, and maybe that would have, change things a little bit. But I'm gonna give Hota, another 2. So 2. Solid score, I think, right in the middle. 6. Mental math. All right, next, who do we have here? I'm gonna skip forward a little. Okay, we have Saad Creekwood, who I'm a big fan of because I totally know who they are, and I've always known who they are, and I love them so much because they're one of my favorite drag performers. But they are sickening. I think they look beautiful. Silhouettes on point. Cunty sleigh boots as well. Fully stoned. Great. I understand the reference. Also very Fifth Element. Okay, cool. So let's talk about it a little bit. First rubric, playfulness. Pretty playful. I'm gonna give it a 2 as well. There's no transformation that happens in the presentation itself, but it looks like she's throwing lays into the crowd with her henchmen or henchthems. That's kind of fun and playful. I don't quite understand how it connects to the garment, but it's fun. So I'm gonna give her 2. In terms of artifice and irony, I love a little cosplay. I love a little reference. And The Fifth Element is a very campy movie, mind you, especially Chris Tucker's character in that. So I'm going to give that a 2.5, okay? Because it's almost there. I don't want to give 3s out yet because I don't think I've felt a 3. But I'm going to say 2.5 because it's very close. And in terms of exaggeration and queerness, Chris Tucker is a very queer character. I think she's a little bit riding on the coattails of that film and relying on Chris Tucker's interpretation of queerness and exaggeration. It is a dragged up version of whatever Chris Tucker was doing, which is already very draggy. So I'm going to give that another 2. A 2. So what was that? What did I say? Ooh, okay, 6.5. All right, let's look at the next one. Ooh, Jete Guevara. Okay, already coming in with the energy and like the big furry animal and the big eyes. I'm getting a lot of playfulness. Okay, so I'm gonna give her a 3 because this is really fun. And then it gets all ripped off. Oh my god! And big O's, big naturals. Okay, like this is really cute. Now, there's a lot of play going on. It's a little confusing. Like, what are those strings that they're tugging on? I don't get it. But I'm having fun, and I'm there with you. Okay, Jete Guevara, you got a 3 for that first category. Okay, irony and artifice. That's a little tougher. I'm a little just like bemused and confused. So I'm gonna give that a 1. I gave a 3 and then a 1. I know it's up and down, roller coaster for me, isn't it? I mean, I like the eyes. It's kind of cute. I'm gonna give it a 1.5. 1.5. Let's change it. Okay, and then finally, exaggeration and queerness. I'm also gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2, right in the middle. You know, I think it could be bigger. It's actually a very fun presentation, and I'm happy she did this. I'm awake, and I'm finally in to this runway. So, what is that score, Angel? Also 6.5. Okay, we got a couple of 6.5s. Next on the list, what's going on here? Okay. So as soon as the curtains opened, like you can hear the crowd go freaking crazy. So in terms of, this is Pangia. In terms of silhouette, I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to just talk about the silhouette and exaggeration. It is so big and so immense and so identifiable immediately. I think I'm going to give it a 3 for exaggeration and queerness. Very cool. In terms of playfulness, so jumping back up to my top category, I'm also going to give it a 3. I think it was like very playful, very fun. And yeah, I mean even in terms of like irony and artifice, it's just like it's a fake Sutro tower on their head and they have the giant I Heart SF. I'm also going to give that a 3. I think that's my first perfect score, 3. I think Pangia kind of nailed it, Now, I think they nailed camp. They looked camp. They looked camp in the eye with this one. So good job, baby girl. Oh my gosh, they looked camp in the eye. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. So what I'm looking at right now is the Vicky Christina Barcelona. Okay. First of all, I love Vicky Christina Barcelona, and I was just like, oh my god, I love that film, Woody Allen. And she was like, what are you even talking about? She didn't even know where her name came from. That was so funny. This was like 2 years ago at Oaklash, and I thought that was kind of hilarious. But hi, I'm here with Vicky Christina Barcelona. Forget about Woody. What's his name? Woody. Angel. Not Woody Harrelson, the director.
I don't know.
Woody Allen. Forget about Woody Allen. He's problematic.
Woody Allen?
Oh my God. Oh, I'm also here with Beatrix Lane.
I heard Woody Allen. Is he here?
No, Woody Allen's not here. Okay, I live for this look. Okay, first of all, the presentation was like immaculate. In terms of playfulness, very playful. She came out looking very statuesque with this like fake bodice. Gagged me when she stepped aside from it. So she comes from this like very like royal statuesque, silhouette with countenance with a headpiece and whatnot, and then steps aside and then gives us like hoe attire with like Daisy Dukes and representing, Puerto Rico. I live and just like the headpiece of the curlers, like I don't understand the reference. I mean, she posted about it a little later and is like referencing like, a meme or a photo. But immediately I just like, I can see the camp in it. And the way that her abs were contoured into the corset cover, like, bitch, no, I don't know. I don't even need to go through the categories like Threes across the board. Okay. Oh my God, threes are the new tens. By the way, I think she nailed it. And then just in terms of like execution, I live. All right, next one. Ah! Oh my God. Okay. Like, when I say some people did their homework and some people didn't do their homework, this is what I'm fucking talking about. Mary Vice did her homework. I mean, like, this is quintessential camp, like, whatever, Marie Antoinette's been done, blah, 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 like, shut up. I mean, like, the oversized peignets, and peignets are made with, like, cages that are underneath the bustle or what have you, and then those cages are actually, like, dog kennels, and there's, like, puppies underneath there, and then I just, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is camp, like, it's playful, it's exaggerated, it's self-referential and smart and ironic, and, like, this is what everybody needed to do. Like, honestly, you really could have just, like, Googled, like, Mary Vice, and she turns around, her butt's exposed. Oh, and just, like, the reveal itself, like, from, like, very colorful, rip it off to, like, black and sleek, like, high contrast, genius level competing going on here. But not only, like, a really effective, kind of, like, impressive runway, but just understood the assignment. Sorry, hold on. Mary Vice looked camp in the eye. 333. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. 444. I don't want to break the mold, but I went from like doing no threes to like just like constantly giving out threes. Ooh, beautiful. Oh my God. Trans lives matter. Gorgeous. Sailor Moon. I see it. I love it. Okay. First of all, I just want to say, Mojo looks gorgeous. I love that. Eris, my drag child, also helped construct some of this garment. She is cunty slay boots. I love anime. I love Sailor Moon. So let's just talk strictly about camp. And I try to disentangle myself from how much I love Mojo Carter and want her to succeed in every aspect of life and in this pageant. But we're just talking about camp. So in terms of playfulness, I think it's pretty playful. I'm going to give it a 2. In terms of artifice, it's pretty straightforward. There's a little bit of like wink, wink, nod, nod. You're like changing it a little bit. It's mid-transformation. I'm also going to give it a 2. I think it's a solid effort. Now, in terms of exaggeration, I don't know. It just could have been bigger. The transformation could have been bigger. I feel like you could have been actually transforming, like come out in schoolgirl uniform, and that gets ripped off, and then it like shows kind of like mid-transformation, and that's the outfit. You're like existing in this liminal space. Here I am now coaching from the sidelines, but I feel like it could have been more, but I just love you so much. I'm gonna give it another 2. 2, 2, 2. 2s across the board. I love you, Mojo. Don't be mad at me. But coming after Mary Vice, that was rude. I would have, I would not have done well. Okay. Oh my God, was that it? That was it. I told you it was going to be a short video. It's short. Okay, well, that's it for my crumble opinion. I hope you're happy, snacks. I did give my crumbles out today. And I cannot wait for this next weekend where we get to experience the energy of that competition once again. I love the High PrincX Pageant. As someone that, did really well in their creative presentation, the first year of this pageant, to see how these presentations have grown over the last like 3-4 years is kind of like really awe-inspiring. I mean, you would have blown a lot of us out of the water that first year. Maybe not me, but some of us you would have blown out the water. So it's just like the competition's very stiff. Everyone did a really great job. I was just talking about camp. I wasn't talking about how good you were or how bad you were. I was just talking about camp. And some of y'all nailed it. And I hope we all learned a little bit about how to use the internet today. That was shady. Well, that's it for me. That was my in my campy opinion today. I'll see you next weekend. Bye.